Friendship shifts are such a quiet kind of heartbreak. There's no big ending, no clear moment where you can say, this is where it changed. It just slowly becomes different. And I think that's what makes it so hard to process. Because one day you're doing life side by side, sharing everything, talking about the smallest things, feeling known. And then, without even realizing it, you start becoming strangers who used to feel like home. I've been sitting with that lately, especially after moving away, leaving behind friendships that felt so familiar, even though, if I'm honest, something had already shifted before I left. And that's a strange thing to hold. Missing something that wasn't the same anymore. Because part of you knows it didn't break overnight. You both just started growing in different directions, different dreams, different rhythms, different ways of seeing the world. And no one really prepares you for that. Because we don't talk enough about how growth can create distance. Not because anyone did something wrong, but because you're both becoming who you're meant to be. And sometimes that doesn't look the same anymore. But even when you understand that, it can still hurt. I remember feeling this quiet ache when my friends started a new chapter. New job, new people, new environment. And slowly the check-ins became less frequent. The conversations became shorter. The closeness we once had started to fade. And if I'm being honest, it made me question myself. Like, was I not enough? Did I not fit into her life anymore? It's such a vulnerable place to be. When someone who once chose you so consistently doesn't show up in the same way anymore. And it's easy to internalize that, to think it says something about your worth. But I don't think it does. I think sometimes we confuse proximity with purpose. Just because someone isn't as present in your life anymore doesn't mean you are any less valuable to them, or that you are any less valuable now. It might just mean the season has shifted. And that's something I'm still learning to accept. Because as a follower of Christ, I've come to realize that not every relationship is meant to last forever in the same form. Some friendships are deeply meaningful, but still seasonal. And that doesn't make them any less real. It just means they served a purpose in a specific time. There's something in Ecclesiastes about how there's a time for everything. And I think that includes relationships too. A time to walk closely together, and sometimes a time to gently grow apart. Not in bitterness, not in resentment, but in surrender. Trusting that God is just as present in the stretching as he was in the closeness. And maybe part of that stretching is necessary, because who you're becoming might require space. Space to discover parts of yourself you couldn't see before. Space to grow in ways that feel unfamiliar. Space to step into a life that looks different from what you expected. And that doesn't erase the love you had. If anything, it changes how you hold it. For me, I don't think I'll ever stop appreciating her or loving her like a sister in Christ. That doesn't just disappear because things changed. It just becomes quieter, less visible maybe, but still real. And I think there's something really beautiful about being able to say, we may not be as close as we once were, but I still wish you well. I still pray for you. I still carry you with me in some way. Not from a place of longing for what was, but from a place of gratitude that it existed at all. Because not every friendship is meant to stay the same. Some are meant to shape you and then release you. And maybe that's not something to fight. Maybe it's something to honor. So if you're in a season where a friendship feels like it's fading, where someone you love feels a little further away than they used to, maybe it's okay to grieve that. But also, maybe it's okay to let it be what it is now, without forcing it back into what it used to be, without letting it define your worth, and without closing your heart completely. Because God is still writing your story, and the people who are meant to walk with you in this next season will find their way to you. So maybe the question isn't, why is this changing? Maybe it's something softer. Something like, can I trust that God is just as present in what's ending as He is in what's beginning?